Erev Tov Chaverim, I'm Stephen Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live, and just wanted to speak to you guys a little bit this evening about the coronavirus. We have, of course, the President of the United States was speaking earlier today about the coronavirus, and as he says here, I'll just play this clip here for you real quick, just so you can kind of catch what he's saying here. But the president is going to talk about it. From what he's being told, it's like any other flu, people do die, and he's right in that regard. There, the only thing is of course he mentions as well that it's different than any other type of virus. So let's just listen to this clip here real quick. We're going to talk about some issues about this virus, and we're going to be looking at some disturbing images that are coming out of Iran of children that are suffering with this virus as well. Listen to this.
Panicked about, but when I mentioned the flu, I said, actually, I asked the various doctors, I said, is this just like flu? Because people die from the flu, and this is very unusual. And it is a little bit different, but in some ways it's easier, and in some ways it's a little bit tougher. But we have it so well under control. I mean, we really have done a very good job. Go ahead.
When you listen to when you're listening to the people, the journalists in the background there, you can tell there's quite a bit of nervousness about what's going on there with the people. So, you know, as far as what I can tell and everything, we can see everything that's going on around the world. This is not just some simple little virus. And of course, we've been looking to see, is this man-made? Was this something that got out? All kinds of speculations out there. I've never been able to concretely get information that would conclusively say it's one way or the other. But the one thing that we do know, it is a virus. And whether it's man-made or not is really at this point beside the point. We will be sharing over on Patreon a particular video about this week before the week's out, going a little bit deeper into that, why we have suspicions on that. Won't share it here though, because some of those suspicions can be pretty provocative. We just felt like it'd be best to share it there. And many of you have already signed up over there, so we know that you'll be able to see that, and we appreciate that and appreciate your support as well. But I wanted to show some things to you here. These are disturbing images that you're about to see. These are, in fact, this picture here, it doesn't show, of course, the guy passing away, the young boy here, but he caught the coronavirus on the street around other people there. Very, very disturbing to see, and the suffering. This young man only lived a week after getting it, and they're saying that, of course, the young, the elderly, and also others that are. I thought I actually had a different view up as well. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Yeah, here we go. Nope, that's not it either. I had another one, but I guess I lost it. It was actually the Iranian children that were suffering too. And this may be Iran. Yeah, this is one that was also in Iran. But very, very difficult images that are out there. You can tweet it easily and find out that type of information, what's happening. But at any rate there, what I wanted to discuss with you, of course, also in this article here on the Jerusalem Post, this Japanese lady, don't know if that's her actual picture or not, but a Japanese lady who had already had the virus, overcame the virus, got reinfected with this virus, and it really attacks the respiratory system. But our focus on this video here, though, is not so much just to look at the virus, but is there anything that can be done about it? And that's what I wanted to share with you. There are quite a few articles out there. The Liberty Beacon is one. 3 IV vitamin C research studies approved for testing of the COVID-19, which is the coronavirus. And you have to understand, vitamin C in large doses, it converts in your body to peroxide. And the article goes into how even China, as you can see right here on the screen here, direct report from China, OMS Chinese Editions editor Dr. Richard Ching is reporting from China about the first approved study of 12,000 to 24,000 milligrams a day of vitamin C by IV. The doctor also specifically calls for immediate use of vitamin C for prevention of coronavirus. Now, they link this YouTube video for you as well.
Hello, I'm
Here he
Dr.
is.
Richard Chen in Shanghai, China. I came to Shanghai right before the current coronavirus pneumonia outbreak. The pandemic is still ongoing, unfortunately. The coronavirus pneumonia, or known as NCP, is a deadly disease because the virus causes an overwhelming inflammatory response, which makes our lungs unable to exchange oxygen. This overwhelming inflammatory response, in scientific term, is known as oxidative stress or free radicals. These free radicals cause oxidative injuries to our lungs and other cells. Many of us know that vitamin C is a non-specific antiviral agent and is also a powerful antioxidant. It is also well known that even at very high doses, vitamin C is very safe. So vitamin C has a unique
It's
place
very
in
true
fighting
what he's
against
saying.
this viral outbreak.
At high doses, this is what my wife used when she was going through her treatment, but she went as high as 75 grams or 75,000 milligrams intravenous. It's almost like when you do chemotherapy, you kind of get sick because your blood sugar drops, but it does kill viruses. So I encourage you to watch this video. I'll post these in the link for you. But the article gives a lot of information. It says second clinical trial of intravenous vitamin C was announced in China on February the 13th. In the second study, says Dr. Xing, they plan to give 6,000 milligrams a day and 12,000 milligrams per day for moderate and severe cases. At any rate, though, from what we understand in the article, the Chinese have ordered an entire plane load of vitamin C that can be given intravenously. There's a lot of clinics throughout the United States that use this treatment, but I've also noticed too, when I tried to post some of these articles up on Facebook, they like to try to say they're false. Now, this one they did not say that about. And it's kind of hard to overcome it when the doctors, they're showing you the actual evidence of what they're doing. But there is a lot of suppression for vitamin C use intravenous because Big Pharma doesn't like competition. There's too many things that this stuff works on, and they don't want people to know about it. But it goes on here too. Indeed, the World Health Organization, who has literally met with Google and Facebook and other media giants to stop the spread of what they declared to be wrong information, you got that in there as well. News of vitamin C research for the COVID-19 is being actively suppressed. And that's what and it's true. We saw it ourselves. They don't want you to know about this. But there is many doctors that had signed on here. This was the peer review orthomolecular medicine news service and a nonprofit, non-commercial information resources. You got just tons of doctors that back this. Dr. Mercola, there's just amazing research. And I kind of throw this out there for you guys because this is expected to go across America as far as, we could end up like China, just really an epidemic. And Frugal, I saw your comment, just happened to look down. Liposomal vitamin C, yes. Let me pull that up as well. Especially, you might want to consider getting liposomal vitamin C to have it on hand. Liposomal vitamin C is not, of course, not intravenous, but this particular one right here, you can get it from Amazon as well. But this lipospheric, as it's called, kind of show you the name there on the screen, blow that up for you there. That vitamin C right there, it's 1,000 milligrams per packet, so 1 gram in a packet. And they're recommending up to 12,000, really the starting line for treating this illness. That'd be like 12 packets a day, the minimum of 6 packets a day. And that's one reason why I've not had a flu, cold, or anything in probably the last 7-8 years, because if I go to get it, I take exactly that. And so we just want to kind of, especially our listeners, I'm not saying that it cures anything. It's not my point to say that by no means, but listen, it will certainly build your immunity. And but if you look at the article, and I'm not sure if the article there actually spoke about it or not, they do go into some, but Also, besides liposoma vitamin C, in some of these places that you go to where you could do it maybe locally, if you're in a big city especially, there's a lot of clinics like that. Um, and I'll blow that up a little bit bigger for you guys on the screen where he gives what he's talking about, the dosages there in the China report there. But one thing to keep in mind is that it's kind of good also to mix it with B complex and even magnesium. All these things work really good together. But as you can see there, Dr. Xing, his first study, 12,000 to 24,000 milligrams a day, and I think if I'm not mistaken, they were doing that over several days, and it'll knock this stuff out. At least what they're coming up with. So let's listen a little bit more on what he's saying on his video that we have here. It's only got like about 2 minutes, about a minute and a half or so left on here. I'd like for you guys to listen into this, and because this is a real serious thing, especially for anybody, regardless, young people, old people, whatever. It's a battle, and this could really help a lot of people.
I am glad to report that finally IVC, or intravenous vitamin C, is in clinical studies to treat these patients. There are at least 2 IVC trials announced recently. Not only these, we have been also in talk with a few other hospitals about IVC for clinical treatments or clinical studies. This is definitely a positive development for the control of this outbreak and also for the vitamin C movement. I have personally been promoting vitamin C in China for the last 4 to 5 years, particularly recently about 3 weeks ago after the Chinese government made it public that this is a major viral outbreak. I've been calling for the use of IVC, particularly large dose IVC for treatment of these patients, and also for the oral vitamin C for the mild cases or for the prevention of these patients of this disease. I have got plenty of support from the International Society of Orthomolecular Medicine in this effort, especially from Dr. Andrew Sao, Dr. Thomas Levy, and Dr. Atsuo Yanagisawa, and many other colleagues from ISOM, as well as from other medical experts and authorities here in China. I will stay in ground zero to contribute in this fight against this outbreak and coordinate these efforts. And stay tuned, stay healthy. Thank you. Until next time.
I really appreciated that. Somebody had commented as well, just happened to catch that too, about nebulizing using silver. And that's also another possibility, but there's a certain type of nebulizer you really need to put it into nanoparticles. So you'd need to go to a local doctor because you have to actually get that prescribed. It uses, I think it's an ultrasound type of technology that breaks up the particles, and it makes it not like a mist, but into a vapor. And but again, any of these things that I'm saying here, you need to check with a doctor, a physician. If you find a naturopathic physician, normally naturopathic physicians are also medical doctors as well. All I can do is just share some ideas that we're seeing that are public out there for you guys to consider. I'm no doctor myself, so I'm not qualified to give you that answer. But with something that's serious, I'm sure there's a lot of people, if they just knew about these things and where they could find out about it, they would definitely be more interested in what they could actually do. And I'm actually going to subscribe to this guy's channel as well there, just so I can kind of keep up with what's going on this. And, we want to thank you guys for tuning in as well. Thank you for your love, your support of this ministry, this broadcast. And I got a very interesting message I want to share, and it'll probably be on Danun Institute. I don't know if it'll be here, but I'm going to be going back to an old message, and I'll show you this here. Let me double back on the screen for you for just a moment here. This is a really old message. Of course, back during my Zionist days, it's called Israel Cannot Tolerate Rome's Altars to Baal. This is where I talk about the dream that I had, and I've actually talked about it many times before. I call it a vision because it was something that actually coming to pass, seen this for myself, and it was more like a vision because I was conscious of when this was happening to me. But I'm going to be talking about this, and I want to play part of this clip back to you guys, and there's another video I'm looking for. In fact, many of you that have been here, say as far back as 2014, I forget what year we began this ministry. I don't know if it was 2010 or 2011, something like that, way back now, that is. But in one place, I talk about, when I tell the story, not on this video, but in one place, I talk about how that I knew that they were building, the third temple had been built on the Temple Mount. When this was all happening for this man to leave that was drinking on God's holy mountain. And when I said that, I also mentioned in one of the videos as well, and that's the video I'm trying to find, is that it was like an evangelical type of person that was up there holding a service at the temple. And when I say holding a service, he was speaking at the temple. Now, I don't know to what capacity, but he'd been granted to speak up there, just been built. And I don't recall if I told you this on video or if it was my wife only that I told this to. She remembers it, but I did speak about this, how that the guy that was speaking there he was actually one of the men that had spoken at the Brownsville Revival years ago. And I'm going to go into that because I did not realize just how prophetic this whole dream vision, however you want to classify it, really was. And I think it's going to be of a real interest to you because it just dawned on me the other day that some of the things that I'd actually seen in this were so profound and so prophetic. 2 years before the President of the United States, President Donald Trump, was elected. And that's important. I'll just say that. By the way, I saw somebody, I think it's Big G, you'd mentioned you can get a nebulizer for $20 online. Big G, that's not the kind of nebulizer you need. The one that you need, it is a little bit more pricey. And as a general rule in the United States, the one that you need that breaks it into nanoparticles is about $100, and you do normally have to have a prescription to be able to get it. Now, if you can get one and it is that cheap now, I'd be shocked. I'd be surprised. But you know, I'd be interested to know that as well. But I appreciate you letting people know that. Most of what they have, what they call nebulizers, it makes it more into a mist that you're breathing into your lungs, and I guess that would be better than nothing. But the one that you really need, like I said, uses like an ultrasound that breaks up the particles and makes it into nanoparticles. And believe me, it is totally different. It makes it to where instead of just putting a lot of moisture in your lungs, which you probably don't need when you're in that condition, it's like smoke. It literally looks like smoke. It is such a fine nanoparticle, the ions going into the airs. Ultrasonic, thank you. That's exactly right. Ultrasonic nebulizer. I believe that's exactly right. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. God bless you. Have a great night. And we will catch you guys over on Danoon Institute tomorrow. Back here on Israeli News Live as well. Cover some news there. Anyway, stay safe.